Trying to winterize this Yanmar 2GM20 raw water cooled marine diesel engine. In the past I've just put some antifreeze in the water strainer and run the engine, but I realized that actually, because the thermostat doesn't open until the engine gets warm, there won't be antifreeze getting into the block unless you run the engine for a long time. So having read the service manual, there's a drain valve on the starboard side of the engine. It took me about an hour to find this because it's not actually where the manual I have says it is. On my engine, it is actually forward of the lift pump, fuel lift pump, sort of directly above, the oil dipstick. So I found that after an hour of searching and removed the little plastic cap. Nothing came out. I suspect it's all bunged up with gunk. So I've removed the anode that I serviced last year, and there's one anode on the starboard side and one anode on the rear of the engine. To remove the anode, I needed a 24mm socket with a very long wrench handle, and it came out, and it's still reasonably intact. As I say, it was put in new last year. The engine hasn't been used a great deal over the past 12 months, so yeah, it's certainly good for another year. So that removing the anode allowed the block to drain. So what I'm going to do now is replace the anode, remove the thermostat, which is here, drain the hoses, fill the head with a mixture of antifreeze and water. I'm going to renew the thermostat. I've got a new thermostat, and then I'll take the old one home and test it. And yeah, that should be the engine good to sit out the winter. Got the thermostat out. There's no gasket on there, as far as I can tell. Unless, no, I don't think so. Not sure there was ever a gasket on there, but this is the old thermostat. Yeah, fairly gungy. A nice shiny new one. Specified to 42 degrees Celsius. So we'll see how that does. I'm going to have to open up the water pump as well to drain water from there before I close this up and refill it with antifreeze. Yeah, so that didn't go quite as expected, but I got the thermostat out of here, greased up the gasket with some gasket maker, put it all back together, and then remembered that I'd forgotten to put the antifreeze in. And before I could do that, I had to drain the water pump, so I've slackened off the belt, removed the water pump, and I couldn't get one of the screws is really knackered and it won't come off, so I removed the whole thing. Lots more water came out, which is a good thing. I've just tucked this hose up here so that it doesn't drain. I'll fill that with some kitchen towel in a second. And then I got the thermostat out again to fill it. Eventually managed to create this funnel once I'd found all the various parts and shoved them together. This allows one to fill the block via the thermostat hole, and it took less than a litre of 50% ethylene glycol and 50% water. But of course I mixed up 4 litres, so lesson for next time, don't mix up so much antifreeze because you'll waste most of it. But otherwise I think this is almost job done.